How y'all doing? This is Preacher Man All Day, and this is another episode of Retro TV 91, and this time I'm reviewing Flash, Season 3, Episode 1, and this is another Flash Reviews Wednesdays. And what happens on this week's episode, we start off with Flashpoint. Now, backstory from last season, Flash changed the timeline, and his parents are alive now. And it's changed the timeline completely. Wally West has his powers, he's Kid Flash, and he's fighting this guy named Rival. And the guy named Rival is Edward Claris. And we find out that Wally got his powers when he was street racing, and he got his car got struck by lightning. And somehow the nitrous oxide and the lightning combined it and gave him his Speed Force powers. Well, anyway, Kid Flash is trying to beat the Rival, and this whole episode he's not able to do it. Well, Barry's just going throughout his new life and not being the Flash and letting Wally be Flash, and he's talking to Reverse Flash, and Reverse Flash tells him that this is Flashpoint. And if Barry keeps on with his timeline, he's going to forget his old timeline. And this starts happening. When Barry uses his Speed Force powers, little by little he's forgetting his old time. And Barry goes to Reverse Flash, and Reverse Flash says, "You gotta let me out, you gotta let me kill your mother, or you'll forget everything." And Barry doesn't do this. So Barry goes back, and Barry helps Wally fight the Rival. And they fight the Rival, and during the fight, Wally gets stabbed by a piece of pipe. Well, after the fight, Barry Allen as Flash beats the Rival, and they take him back to Sister Ramon Industries with Star Labs. And in this timeline, Sister Ramon has become a billionaire from selling cell phone apps, and he's bought out the old Star Labs building and made it Ramon Industries. And he's not friends with nobody. He doesn't want to have nothing to do with Flash, and Barry has to convince him that they used to be a team. And then Barry goes to get Caitlin, and she's a eye doctor now, and she's not a scientist. And everybody's all different. Joe's a drunk, all this other kind of stuff. So they come up and they beat the Rival. Barry gets Iris to help him. They go to her. Barry goes to his parents and say goodbye to him. He says this has been the best 3 months of his life, so he's been able to spend time with him. They're getting kind of worried, and then he leaves. And Barry tells Reverse Flash, "Look, I need you to kill my mother." And Reverse Flash makes him say this, and he lets Reverse Flash out. They go back to the timeline where Barry stopped Reverse Flash from killing his mother. Well, whenever Reverse Flash gets there, Barry disappears and Reverse Flash disappears from that timeline, and Reverse Flash kills Barry's mother again. Well, he takes them back to Barry's time. He tells them everything's the way it's supposed to be for me. The Reverse Flash says but it's a little bit different for you. And Barry asks him, "What do you mean?" And he says he'll find out later. And Reverse Flash runs off. Well, Barry goes back into his house. He hugs Wally because he's glad Wally's alive. And he asks, "Where's Iris at?" And Joe tells him that's not funny, and he's just going to let him. But the reason he said that is because of grief. That's what Joe says. And then Barry asks Wally what's going on, and Wally says, "You know that they're not talking, Barry." And in this timeline, obviously Iris doesn't talk to her father for some reason. We'll have to find out in the next episode. And at the end of this episode, Edward Claris of this timeline gets woken up by Dr. Alchemy, and Dr. Alchemy's writing on his mirror out, and that's all that really happens on this week's episode. My questions for y'all is, now that Barry's back in his right timeline, what will we find out about Dr. Alchemy? Because Dr. Alchemy is a brand new character, and Barry don't know who this guy is. And y'all, tell me what y'all think. As always, it's Preacher Man R&B signing out. Guys, good, Jesus, awesome. It's been another episode of Retro TV 91. See y'all next time.